The streets are buzzing. New York Knicks, big time win on the road at ATL, pulling it out 108-105 in a playoff type vibe, as the Knicks had plenty of heroes gritted out. Brunson, clutch. Mitchell Robinson, looking like Moses Malone out there. And Karl Anthony Towns put the Knicks on his back in the third quarter run. This is one of the craziest games on the season. Unbelievable. End-to-end action. Are you not entertained? As the New York Knicks came from behind, down 10. CJ McCollum, Nickeil Alexander-Walker could not miss, right? But OG Anunoby had a big-time performance as well, right? As the New York Knicks are 3 games away from the playoffs, right? 51 wins on the season. Can we get a hell yeah? Thumbs up for that one, as the Knicks gritted this one out on the road, man, on one of the best wins on the season. Because ATL, man, they've been hot. They've been absolutely playing hot. And especially at home, as Brunson, late, heroics, 15 fourth quarter points, right? After struggling earlier from the field with a lack of efficiency, right? He was tough late in this one, but I was super impressed with Karl Anthony Towns' effort as well. We saw a lot more pick and roll in this game, right? Hopefully this opens things up with the New York Knicks feature their 2 best offensive weapons. But look, OG is playing great ball, and so is Mitch. Deuce McBride hit a couple of big threes, was 40% from downtown, as the Knicks shot 50% from the field. ATL only shot 40% from the field. That was one of the biggest differences in a tight game that I think separated the 2 clubs in this one. We'll talk about the rotation in this recap. 9-man rotation. I think Mike Brown's all but confirmed, finalized. He's talked about not wanting to change the starting 5. So it looks like we are going to rock with this, right, until further notice. Playoff ball will start with the starting 5 with Josh Hart, McCall, OG, Brunson, and Cat. I'll give you my thoughts on that in a minute after we're done recapping this game. But look, overall, man, we'll pull up the stats. We'll give out the game ball and continue to roll these clips. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Replay squad. We do the recap Sunday to Thursday. Live stream post games Friday and Saturday. Boston have a big game tomorrow against the Hornets, and if they lose that, which is very possible, and the Knicks can beat the next game, the Celtics in the next game on Friday night, Thursday night, sorry. Then the Knicks will have a real chance to make that second seed leap. But it is more likely they'll finish in that 3rd spot. But in this one, man, look, the Knicks were, I think connected as a team. I think going down 10, I don't read too much into this because ATL, they just couldn't miss. Like CJ McCollum, of course they've got Jonathan Kuminga. Now they've got the wings in Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, Okongwu was hitting threes. I mean, they're a tough out, ATL. I would definitely prefer the Raptors. I think the Knicks still win a series against the Hawks. But, they're playing good ball, at the right time of year, are the Hawks. But it took every bit of the Knicks' best shot to get this dub. And I said top 3 craziest games. I think this is up there with the NBA Cup game and, of course, Christmas Day. Could be top 5, maybe even top 3, like I said. But, overall, I think, we didn't get much out of Josh Hart by way of scoring and assisting. He made a couple of great hustle plays. Was we about to pull up the box score, but this one was pretty much all grit, determination from the captain down the stretch. I mean, took over. Here he had a great dime to find OG. There was a lot of breakdowns, I think, from Atlanta on the defensive side, and the Knicks were willing to quickly move the rock and capitalize. I think ball movement was pretty good in this game. The Knicks, like I said, Brunson was just really inefficient in the first half. The Knicks started out pretty good. First quarter, they had a lead. ATL just continued to drain threes and shots in the second and third quarters. This one was like a seesaw affair. And it was just who was going to be ahead in the final possession. One of these street ball affairs, man. It was not for the faint of heart. And the crowd, MSG South, it was vibing, man. It was buzzing. And like I said, great playoff type atmosphere and a good test. You know, we've been getting a couple easier wins. And yeah, like I said in the last recap, the last four of the reg season was going to be more of, you know, a test for what we want to see. And the Knicks passed the test. Can they play a lot better? I think they can. But, you know, 3 games remain, man. We just got to buckle up and head into this battle of round 1. I do believe in something to say about, as we see a crazy defensive possession, man, from Mitch getting the block. The shot clock was running down, and he knew that he had the block on a Kongwu. But you love to see OG's hustle in this one to not give up. And a pretty weak effort from Jalen Johnson on that one, man, as OG Anunoby out-hustled him. But I was going to say, I do think you can start to play better as the playoffs start, and you can, you know, you can build momentum. You know, you can gather steam in round 1, headed into round 2, headed into round 3. I don't really think most teams don't start playing their best ball in round 1. The Knicks are just going to have to find ways to just win the games, win the series, and continue to, you know, to build. The lack of preparation. I mean, it hasn't been a great, you know, preparation in this playoffs with, you know, Deuce just coming back, and then all of a sudden Clarkson now in the rotation, and you know, still, you know, finding ways to get Cat going. But I think the strength of this team, man, is just the consistency of guys like this, Mitch, OG Anunoby. You know, as we see Mitchell Robinson get defensive player of the game, and shout out to Mitch, who's second in the leaderboard. As New York Basketball tweets out, OG has 10 on the season, Mitchie with 9, Hart with 6, Macau 5, Huck Porty and Cat with 3, defensive player of the games. But yeah, OG Anunoby now 65 games is now eligible for NBA All Defense. Man, get him in. What a demon OG's been on the season. One of the reasons I'm feeling good about the Knicks still getting to the Eastern Conference Finals at the moment is because, you know, OG's play, Mitchell Robinson's play, Brunson's proven that he can start slow and he can just turn it on, man, at any time, right? Beware of the captain, JB, ready to kill, right? And the Knicks got it done on the road. Like I said, last year, man, we weren't really headed into the playoffs in great form either. And the Knicks found a way, you know, to grit things out, right? So I mentioned Thursday night, man, Boston, first of a back-to-back against the Raptors, right? That is going to be pretty much the full dress rehearsal, man, for the playoffs. Charlotte in the final game, could be some gamesmanship between seeding. We don't really know, but that's still going to be another tight game, I think. But, you know, really the next two, Knicks get another 2-day break, which is good. Obviously, we'll get the week's rest as well prior to the playoffs when they do these play-ins, man. The play-ins are going to be super fun to watch just as a neutral. Can't wait to see, you know, the final playoff seeding, right, as we talk about that coming up right now. But yeah, the strength of OG, Mitch, the defense, Miles McBride coming back, of course. I think Landry Shamet didn't have a great game, man. Couldn't hit a field goal. Yeah, and we didn't get much out of Josh Hart as we look at the box score right now. But +4 from Mitch, +7 from Brunson, right? We had Bridges a +1, Cat +2, OG +10, right? And we had Miles McBride still a +2 in 19 minutes. Only hit 2 shots, 2 of 6, 2 of 5 from downtown. But it's those 2 threes that were really important, man. You know, to get Deuce back, a guy that can hit a couple of threes to, you know, change up the game a bit. Going to give the game ball out, man. And I really wanted to give out multiple game balls, but I'm thinking, got to give it to Brunson. I mean, what a crazy stat line. 30 points with 13 assists, right? Still inefficient from the field, but I mean, talk about putting the team on his back late. Can't go past that crazy stat line, man. You guys let me know what you're feeling right now. But yeah, Mitch could have been the hero. I thought Cat was unbelievable in that third quarter. He had like an amazing 5-minute run where he just completely took over offensively. A lot more Brunson Cat pick and roll 2-man game in this one, which is really my biggest takeaway from this one, as we see right here in these highlights. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, man, got put on the deck in that screen from Cat, and Brunson splashed in his face, right? Brunson getting out in transition as well. We'll take a look at the stats, but I do think that the New York Knicks got this one done from the field goal, right? ATL could not miss from three. They outshot the Knicks in percentage from three, but the Knicks 50% from the field. ATL only mustered up 40% from the field, right? Which was a true difference maker in this one, right? The Knicks only 33% from downtown, but ATL got 38% from downtown, like I said. But the Knicks got stops when it counted. They won the points in the paint, absolute domination, 52-34. And that's when Mitch and Cat really put their authority on this one, guys. Major discrepancy in the Knicks' favor of 52-34. That was huge. Also, the Knicks 15 turnovers, but ATL had 14 as well. I really like seeing the 7 blocks. Mitch, OG, difference makers on that side. 29 assists to only 23 from the Hawks. So, look, all in all, I think the Knicks deserve the win on paper when you look at these numbers. Obviously, the Knicks have the best player on the court as well when it mattered, and Brunson continues to be Mr. Clutch. In case people forget, right? He can win you the game, man, off of his own shot, and he will continue to do so, right? So put him in these situations with floor spacing, and he can go to work as we see the crowd get crazy out there. But look, props to the Hawks. I think they've made some great moves as an organization. They're still lacking that true, I think, 1A type guy, but they're flexible in the summer. They're going to make moves, man. But for now, they could cause some headaches, I think, for some teams in the playoffs, man. You got CJ, the vet. Thinking, man, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, man, he was unbelievable in this game. He was spaz and out. And I'm thinking, like, why did Minnesota get rid of him? I forget which deal that was. I don't know if it was the Ayo Dosunmu deal in a 3-way. I've got to look that up. But yeah, Nickeil Alexander-Walker was a heck of a pickup with Jalen Johnson and obviously Kuminga. And the Hawks are really going to, they could get to the second round. I could see them, create some headaches for people. So good to see the Knicks overcome this one, despite not getting great games from Hart. Deuce was okay. Shamet was quiet. Alvarado obviously out of the rotation. Kolek and so forth out of the rotation. And that is where I think the New York Knicks have really, Mike Brown has made this call right now. So you got Clarkson and you got Shamet alongside Deuce and Mitch for the 9-man rotation. Looks like Mo Diawara, man, kind of a buzzkill on his season now that he's out of the rotation, right, heading into the playoffs. But look, he's got an amazing, bright future ahead, and he's just got to stay ready. Alvarado also gave some great quotes about being a good teammate, knowing his role right now, which is to stay ready when his number's called and be ready when his number gets called again, like a true veteran. I'm really impressed with the way Alvarado's handled this benching. And look, it might not be a long-term benching, you could always get in, plug and play any game where you need a spark, you need defense, you need, you need to change the flow of the game, matchup dependent, all of these things. And it's one of the reasons why we fired Tibbs at the end of the day, to bring in a coach that is willing to be more, not just open to making changes, but more so doing it. Like, it's all good to say, oh, we needed a coach that was going to play more dudes or, make adjustments in game. Well, Mike Brown's doing that, but he's also having to make some tough decisions in terms of, okay, I got to bench a couple guys now. I've seen what they can produce. Um, Even the other game, he benched Huck Porty when Cat was out, and he said, Sohan, you're going to be my five. So that was out of the blue. Clarkson completely came back in this rotation, man, out of the blue. And so if I'm someone on the bench currently out of that rotation, I wouldn't be getting too comfortable, right? I wouldn't I wouldn't be uncomfortable, being on the sidelines because I know that, my next shot could come, man, at any moment. Um, but as I said, man, my thoughts on Brown not changing the starting five. I get it. It's late in the season. It probably missed that boat 20 games ago. I'm definitely going to get behind this team, and I'm super pumped, hyped, buzzing for round one, for this playoff run, man. I'm locked in. Let us know how you're feeling right now. And yeah, I'm just going to root for this squad. I think it's flawed, the starting five. The numbers suggest they're not even, plus 1 point something on the season, which is incredibly low for a team that is as good as the Knicks with our win total. For our starting five to only be +1, it's like, starting fives like the Hawks and other teams are way higher. But our bench, it speaks to how good our other players are and our other lineups that pick the starting five up. And I also do, have some belief that if called upon and if needed, if we're down in a series or if things were in a tricky spot and we need to change the starting five because if someone's struggling, they'll still do it in the playoffs. I think they're just simply going to put confidence in the current starting five going into round one. That doesn't mean it's going to be the starting five for round two, you know. I think they might just be saying, Mike Brown might just be saying, all right, you go out there, prove it in round one, dominate a series, and to keep your spot, to stay hungry and whatnot. But as we pull up the standings right now, guys, as I said, the Knicks will face the Celtics, man, on Thursday. But tomorrow, the Boston Celtics do battle with the Hornets now, have moved up officially to the 8th spot. Man, the 8th seed, the Hornets. I think this might be the first time on the season, man. They're tied with the Magic at 43 and 36. Right, so that'll be huge for the Hornets, man. That'll mean they obviously get the double chance and a potential home playoff. They they could definitely still catch the Sixers as well, both 43 and 36 as well. So that's on a nice edge, man. This season is coming down to the wire, man. It's unbelievable. And of course, like I said, the Knicks can still catch the Celtics. The Celtics lose tomorrow, then the Knicks beat the Celtics. There'll be a 2-game swing right there. And the Knicks will have a couple to play. They own the tiebreaker as well, or they own the division, basically the second tiebreaker. All they got to do is finish with the same record as the Celtics. And that will be enough. And so, look, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for that matchup, man. That is going to be a playoff type vibe, man. I wonder what they're going to do with Tatum in terms of the minutes load. Is Missoula going to pull out some gamesmanship? Who the hell knows, man? But yeah, it is coming down to the final 3 now, and it's a back-to-back. We know we're not going to get back-to-backs in the playoffs, so they might rest Mitch for one of these next 2. They might play some gamesmanship, rest him against Boston. More than likely, I would say they're gonna rest Mitch for the Toronto game because yeah, you want to beat Boston so that you can catch them. So I do think that they are going to play Mitch against Boston. We know Joe Mazzulla is going to try that hacker Mitch again, man. He's going to try to get into the head of Mitchell Robinson. But Mitch has been shooting a lot better from the free throw most recently. And yeah, that matchup is going to be unbelievable, man, at Madison Square Garden as well. I think, look, the schedule gods have blessed the Knicks. I think now we don't got to travel. right up until from now until game 1 of the playoffs, the Knicks will be situated in New York City. Boston, the Raptors, well, the 2 days rest now. Boston, Raptors, a day rest. Charlotte, and then an entire week off for the play-in. Pretty much the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, until game 3 of the first round, the Knicks won't have to leave New York City, man, which is going to be huge. Players can start to rest up some ailments, whatever they're dealing with. But obviously, seeding still on the line. Third or second doesn't really bother me. I think I've said this before. I think the Knicks have got a good shot of facing the Raptors now. I mean, let me double check. Can the Hornets even get into 6 or 7? Yeah, they can. As I pull this up again, man, I'm just noticing. Yeah, the numbers are right here. So the Hornets are only half a game off the Raptors for 6. I mean, Hornets got some tough games, but yeah, they beat Boston in the next one. That'll be insane. They could get. Who would have thought, man? The Hornets could get the 6th seed. But I've got to check the games coming up. The Raptors and the Sixers might have some easier ones. So the Hornets, Sixers, and Hornets and Sixers only have 3 to play. They're on 79 games, right? The Raptors, though, have 4 to play. They're on 78 games. So the Raptors pretty much got the fate in their hands with 4 to play. They've got the extra 1. I think, boy, I would love the Raptors to stay in that 6th spot. Knicks, Raptors. I know there's a little bit of travel, but I would love that matchup. I think for the Knicks to have the best chance at ending the series early. Sixers, Hawks, Hornets, Magic, they all present different challenges. But look, at the end of the day, man, the Knicks can't be picking and choosing, right? We just got to, be ready, battle, hardened, tested, and come ready to go, man, in round 1, because it's going to be a long run. I'm expecting the Knicks to get back to the Eastern Conference Finals, right? And hopefully get to the big dance. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the recap, and we'll see you on the recap for the Boston matchup, man, on Friday morning on the drop. Peace, everyone. Hit that like button and let us know your thoughts, man. Are you buzzing for the playoffs to start, right? Has this Knicks 3-game winning streak got you more hype with players stepping up and looking more ready for what's to come? Peace, everyone.